Welcome back to Investing Talk podcast. We're going to be looking at VNET Group today.
Oh, yeah, VNET Group.
This company, they're like a big player in internet data centers.
Yeah, carrier and cloud neutral.
Right, and they're mostly working out of China, Hong Kong, the UK, Singapore, a few other places too.
Interesting.
So we've got some really interesting stuff here to look at, like technical analysis, company overview.
And recent stock performance.
Recent stock stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
We really want to figure out what's going on with VNET.
Yeah, what's the story with them?
We're going to be looking at the price movements lately. How is their financial health looking?
Right. We'll be checking for any red flags.
Exactly. And also their strengths.
Yeah, the good and the bad.
And then we'll try to figure out what might be coming down the line.
What's the future look like?
So let's start with the stock. How's it been doing?
Yeah, jump right in.
Current price is sitting at $6.39.
Okay.
And we've seen some pretty big drops lately. One was 12.82%.
Oh, it's a big one.
And another was 14.08%.
Wow, so two separate periods of big drops.
Yeah, separate times. And if you look at the 52-week range, it's been between 613 and 693.
So it's been bouncing around a bit.
Yeah, some volatility there for sure. But for some context, back in February of 2025.
Earlier this year.
Yeah, the stock actually went up by 13.74%.
Oh, wow. So it was doing well then.
There was some good market sentiment,
People were feeling good about it.
Yeah, and they made some strategic moves.
Smart.
But then early March 2025 came around.
Uh-oh.
And it tanked like a huge 21.48% drop.
That's a big swing.
Yeah, there were worries about their financials.
Yeah, like were they doing their accounting right?
Right, there were allegations of misstatements, and their revenue was dropping.
So people got spooked.
They did. And the last closing price was $7.32.
So a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride. Now let's get into the technical side a little bit.
Okay, the nitty-gritty.
So we don't have the exact RSI number.
Right, the relative strength index.
Yeah, but those big price drops we talked about.
The 12%, 14% ones.
Yeah, they might mean that the stock is oversold.
Oversold. What does that mean for people who don't know?
So basically it means that the price has dropped more than what the fundamentals of the company might suggest.
Oh, okay.
So it might be a good opportunity for people who are thinking long term.
Right, people who aren't worried about the day-to-day.
Exactly. They might see it as a bargain. But then if we look at moving averages...
Okay, what are those again?
They're basically lines on a chart that show you the average price over a certain period of time.
Okay, so like a 50-day moving average shows you the average price for the past 50 days.
Yeah, exactly. And the current price is below both the 50-day and the 200-day moving average.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
Not really. It could mean that there's a bearish trend going on.
Bearish meaning the price is likely to keep going down.
Right, for both the short term and the long term. So there are some warning signs there from a technical standpoint.
Okay, so maybe not the best time to jump in then.
Well, it depends on your risk tolerance.
Right, some people like to live on the edge.
True. But let's shift gears and look at the company itself.
Okay, let's get into the fundamentals.
So what do they actually do?
Yeah, who are these guys?
They offer all sorts of services like internet data center services.
Well, the backbone of the internet.
Right. Cloud services, VPN services, and managed hosting.
So they're covering a lot of ground.
Yeah, they have a wide range of clients.
Like who are we talking?
We're talking big telecom companies.
The Verizons and AT&Ts of the world.
Yeah. Then you've got non-carrier entities, internet service providers, government agencies, all kinds of enterprises.
They're not putting all their eggs in one basket.
No, definitely not. And they pulled in about $7.41 billion in revenue.
Okay, that's a decent chunk of change.
It is, but there are some things to be concerned about.
Yeah, those red flags we mentioned.
So their pre-tax profit margin is negative 11.2%.
Negative meaning they're losing money.
Yeah. Before taxes, they're in the red. And their return on assets is also negative at 2.82%.
So they're not making the most of what they own.
Right. And their leverage ratio is pretty high at 5.1.
Leverage, that's basically how much debt they're using.
Exactly. So they're relying a lot on borrowed money.
Which can be risky.
It can be. They have a lot of assets, but their liabilities are also pretty big.
So it's a bit of a mixed bag.
It is, and we can't ignore the problems.
No, let's be real.
So there were those allegations of financial misstatement.
Yeah, the accounting stuff.
Right, and that led to a class action lawsuit.
Oh, wow, people are suing them.
Yeah, which definitely shakes investor confidence.
I bet it does.
And then you've got those negative profitability numbers.
It's not making money.
And the high debt levels.
It's a lot to worry about.
It is, but there's another side to this story.
Okay, there's always two sides.
So VNET is a leader in the Chinese data center market.
Yeah, and that market is growing like crazy.
It is because of the demand for digital infrastructure in China.
Everyone needs data centers these days.
Right, and VNET is expanding their data center capabilities.
Smart move.
Yeah, it's in line with what's happening globally.
Yeah, everyone's building more data centers.
And they've gotten great ESG ratings.
ESG, that's environmental, social, and governance.
Right, and MSCI and S&P Global have given them top ratings for 3 years in a row.
Okay, so they're doing good things for the world.
Yeah, that's definitely a plus.
Investors like that.
And they've also made a deal with Dajia Investment
Oh, interesting. What kind of deal?
for a pre-REITs fund.
So, real estate investment trust.
Yeah, but before it becomes a REIT.
Okay, so it's like a pre-IPO.
Yeah, kind of. And this could bring in more investment.
More money. That's always good.
Yeah, and it might stabilize the stock price.
So maybe some good news on the horizon.
Possibly, but VNet's not alone out there.
Oh, right. They have competition.
They do. They're up against some big names,
Like who?
like China, Mobile China, Telecom, and China Unicom Hong Kong.
Wow. Those are some heavy hitters.
Those competitors have bigger pieces of the market.
Makes sense. They've been around longer, probably.
Yeah, but VNet has something that sets them apart.
What's their secret weapon?
They're cloud neutral.
So they don't play favorites with the cloud providers.
Exactly. They work with everyone.
That could be a big advantage.
Yeah, a lot of companies these days are using multiple cloud platforms.
Yeah. They don't want to be tied down to just one.
Right, so VNet's flexibility is really appealing.
So they could be the Switzerland of the cloud world.
Exactly. And now let's look ahead what's coming up.
Yeah, the future of VNet.
So their earnings reports, those are going to be super important.
Yeah, we need to see if they can turn things around financially.
And we need to keep an eye on China's regulations.
Yeah, the government can have a big impact on businesses over there.
Absolutely. And of course, there's always the risk of market volatility.
Yeah, the market can be unpredictable.
And those legal issues, those aren't going away overnight.
Right, the lawsuit's still hanging over their heads.
They did have their third quarter 2024 earnings call recently.
So we have some recent data to work with.
Yeah, it gave some insights into how they're performing and what their plans are.
Okay, so what's the big picture here?
Well, it's complicated.
Yeah, I figured as much.
There are definitely some good things about VNet.
Like what?
They're strong in their market, and those ESG ratings are great.
Yeah, and that deal with Dajia Investment, that could be big.
Right, but then there's the stock going down and the financial struggles and the legal stuff.
There's a lot of risk involved.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag.
So what's the overall feeling?
I'd say caution is key.
Yeah, you got to be careful with this one.
The technical analysis hints that things might keep going down.
But the fundamentals show there's potential, too.
Right, so it's a bit of a puzzle.
A real head-scratcher.
But here's the question for you, the investor.
Yeah, what should people be thinking about?
How much risk are you comfortable with?
Yeah, and what's your time horizon? Are you in it for the long haul?
This stock's been pretty volatile.
Not for the faint of heart.
Definitely not. But if you're in it for the long game,
And you believe in the company's potential.
there might be some opportunities there.
Okay, so it's all about weighing the risks and rewards.
Absolutely.
Thanks for bringing us this case.
Yeah, it's been a fascinating one.
A lot to think about.
Definitely. And we hope this analysis has helped to make things a little clearer for you.
Yeah, hopefully people found it useful.
And if you did, and you want us to do more deep dives like this,
Yeah, on other companies.
please subscribe, like, and comment.
We love hearing from you.
We do.
All right, until next time.
See you then.